Hello and welcome to a brand new series here on YouTube. My name is Official H2 and I want to welcome you to the very first episode of the FM23 Club Spotlight video series. At the time of recording this video, it is October the 20th, 2022, and you know what that means? That means that the FM23 beta has dropped today. I know that some, if not all of you, have been already playing the game all day, and a lot of people are looking for save ideas with the new Football Manager game. There are tons of great videos over on YouTube and threads on Twitter that have phenomenal ideas of saves from other content creators. I wanted to do something a little different here on the channel, which is why this series will be taking one club per episode and learning a little bit more about them as a club outside of Football Manager. So we can get to know the club a little bit, and then I can show you on Football Manager what you can do, what the club looks like, and some save ideas in that sense. That's why this is called the FM23 Club Spotlight Series, where we really shine a spotlight on a club and get to know them beyond FM, and then give you guys hopefully some inspiration for saves you can do this year. If you do enjoy this type of content, please like the video, as it helps me know that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm providing. And also please click the subscribe button so you don't miss future uploads. And without any further ado, let's get into today's club, which is FBK Balkan. So who are FBK Balkan? For those of you who may not know about the club, which included me as of just a couple of days ago, FBK Balkan are a fourth tier Swedish football club, and they are most well known for having one Zlatan Ibrahimovic lace up his boots for them at the age of just 6 years old. So FBK Balkan are a Swedish football club who are located in the district of Rosengård in Malmo. And to truly understand the DNA of this club, we have to understand that Rosengård is a heavily populated district in Malmo that has a lot of immigrants. And so this club was founded by a bunch of Yugoslavian immigrants. And for those of you who may not know the word Yugoslavia, that was basically what the countries of Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Slovenia, Croatia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Kosovo were collectively known as before they started splitting away, starting in 1991. So a bunch of Yugoslavian immigrants who lived in Rosengård in Malmo in Sweden created this club in 1962, and it was a real prideful club for them. They actually wanted to call it something along the lines of Yugoslavia FC. Of course, Zlatan was born to a Bosnian father and a Croat mother, so that's kind of really the demographic that this club is kind of founded by. And so this club is a very proud immigrant club founded by Yugoslav immigrants, and Zlatan fit right in. And you can see the impact of Zlatan in Rosengård to this day. Even though he had a brief spell there when he was very young, the club still is so proud that Zlatan wore the FBK Balkan shirt, and youth players of the club to this day still try to emulate the success that Zlatan has gone on to have now. And so they play with so much pride and passion, representing one of the most prideful clubs in all of Europe. If you take a look at the club's Wikipedia page, you will see that a lot of years were spent in the Swedish 6th division, but they've made their way as high as the 2nd division. So this club has never actually been in the Swedish top flight, and maybe that's something that you can help them achieve. But what really sticks out is this beautiful club crest. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm a sucker for great club logos or crests and kits and stuff like that. So this is just a very prideful kind of blend of the two worlds of FBK Balkan, that being, of course, the former Yugoslav flag and Swedish flag, and just a very unique, proud identity. Wikipedia even goes here to say that the club is one of the oldest immigrants association in Europe. So you really have this identity with the club, which is actually why it's struggling now, because a lot of immigrants in Rosengård now are Middle Eastern immigrants or African immigrants, and so they don't have that same burning desire to play necessarily for this club as, say, those former Yugoslav immigrants did have. So that's another challenge for you, is kind of building this club with that same identity, perhaps finding dual national Serbians and Bosnians and stuff like that, to build up this club as it has been operating from 1962 with those kind of ideas in mind. Quick look at Google will show you the field that they play in is not that big at all. I think it is officially a 2,500 seat stadium, but usually you'll find just a few hundred people there. As you see here, this is kind of the field that you can see. This is the north stand, nice shaded stand, but still a very old school kind of hard working, working class type of environment here, and a very prideful football club. So I think it's a great way for you to build, into this community in Rosengard, in Malmo, and hopefully bring this team up to the first division and hopefully become the most reputable team in Malmo one day. So then once you get into Football Manager, once you want to start the save, you will want to go to Europe and you will want to load in Sweden. You will click here and you'll find them in the second division SG. That's where FBK Balkan are. I have the logo pack loaded in. It is not a licensed league in the FM23 beta, so you will have to add your own logos in, but there's that beautiful logo. Let's load it up and take a look at what this club looks like on Football Manager and what you can hopefully achieve with them. Let's take a look at FBK Balkan in the game then. They are, of course, a Swedish team founded in 1962, as we already mentioned. Semi-professional, so that means you are going to have limited resources and a lot of challenges on your hand to get this team up and running. A 2,500 capacity stadium in Rosengard, and the stadium condition is poor, and you can see here we have only 25 season ticket holders. Ticket prices are pretty cheap, so finances are going to be hard to come by. When you look at facilities, then it's poor condition, like I said, poor youth facilities, poor training facilities, basic academy coaching, and limited youth recruitment. You don't have any affiliated clubs. Again, the history is fairly quiet. One third division South trophy, which was in 2020, I believe. But other than that, there hasn't been much to write about in the history books for this club. So hopefully you can be the one to change that around. When you take a look at the competition, then it is a 14-team league, which means that you will have a total of 26 games. You play each other twice. First place gets promoted to the first division. Second place, though, has a promotion playoff. And when you take a look at the promotion playoff, it is quite convoluted. So basically, if you do want to get promoted, you want to try to get that first place spot because that is the only automatic promotion spot that there is. In terms of the registration rules, fairly standard. There are no specific things that you need to worry about with registration and transfers. When you look at the season preview, then FBK Balkan are predicted to finish 10th, and there is quite a bit of work to do if you want to get this team up and challenging toward the upper end of this division. When we look at our club vision, the board just wants us to work within the wage budget, which I think every single board wants you to do in this game. And then they want us to avoid relegation from this division. That is the only thing that they really require. After this year, they want us to just become an established second division team, and that is about it. So I think, that's fairly manageable with the squad that you have, and I think you should look to push on and start getting promotion as soon as you can solidify yourself in this league. The supporters expect us to avoid relegation as well. So very, very standard expectations from both the board and the supporters. Speaking of the supporters, let's take a look at a brand new feature in this game, which is your supporters, the supporters kind of profile. So we see that as expected with a team in a lower division, 35% of your fans are the core fans. And the game defines this as your average kind of football fans. 13% are the most loyal hardcore fans. 23% are family, 11% are fair weather. We have no corporate fans, which again you'd expect for quite a small club in a lower division like this. And then 18% are casual fans. And again, some very manageable expectations. Actually, only one expectation, and that's to avoid relegation from the current division that you're in. Side note here, you have a whopping 12 season ticket holders. That is what you call true support. One of the things that everyone wants to know, of course, when you take over a club, what do the finances look like? Here it is then. Our club has an overall balance of £16,715. You have no transfer budget, but you are able to retain 100% of your revenue. So if you are able to send any players, you can definitely retain 100% of that. And our wage budget, as you'd expect at this level, only £201 per week. You have £5 per week to play around with. So that is a great challenge to work with limited financial resources. Try to get people in on non-contract and see what we can do. Taking a look at the squad you inherit then, it's clear to see that this 19-year-old Swedish midfielder, Matthew Ambai, is your best player, at least star potential-wise. He is a dual national, Swedish and Ethiopian, only 19, but he is 6'4", guys, and his physicals are really good for this level. 14 jumping is huge at this level. Stamina is good. He can play a full 90 many times during the season. Concentration is a little low, positioning is a little low, but his teamwork and work rate kind of make up for it. Technically, he's not that good, so you may want to play him as like a ball winner or a defensive midfielder. Sebastian Rask then is the next best player according to our reports. 27-year-old Swedish striker. He could lead the line for you as an advanced forward. 12 finishing is pretty good. Composure is a little low, but his 13 off the ball is quite nice. He can take your penalties as well, and 12 acceleration and pace are not the worst for this level at all. Going down the list, then you have Sopi, who could play as a winger for you. Hallberg Watango, who, as you'll see later in the tactic that I create, I think is a okay shadow striker for this level, and a few other players down the list here. One of the new features in FM23 is this experience matrix, and this is something I do want to point out for this team. As you can see here, it's quite a young team in terms of the experience matrix. When we look at the four kind of sections, development is kind of your younger players who are developing and starting out in their careers. Emerging are kind of the guys who are ready for first team minutes and more meaningful appearances. Peak, as it suggests, are players in the peak of their careers. And you'll notice here with this team, with the experience section, we don't have any experienced players. These are kind of your players who are at the end of their careers who can maybe guide the younger players, and that might be something that you look to improve, because we don't really have any guiding figures for all of these young guys coming through as developing and emerging stars. So that may be something that you want to look at improving right away. But I love this view. I think it's going to be great for us to be able to see. It's just a different way of seeing the dynamics of the squad, right? You can see who's aging and who's not, and you can even look at positions. So it's really nice. You can actually look at goalkeepers and see what their kind of demographic or matrix is. You can look at wingers. You can look at all sorts of things. So I think this is going to be a great tool to use in FM23, and I'm very, very excited to use it. In terms of the tactic you can run, I've come up with this 4-2-3-1. It seems to fit most of the players well. You will struggle a little bit in the fullback department. Viktor Ivanov is probably your best starting right back with only 7 acceleration. He is going to leave a lot to be desired. He's a little small as well, can't really jump, but his positioning and teamwork hopefully can make up for it. He does have 13 aggression. On the left side, Jonas is the other fullback. He's really, really poor. I don't think he's going to be that good, but he is a little taller and can jump, so he should be able to help a little bit on set pieces and back post headers. Your two central defenders will be Asklend and Alifendic. Again, they're not the quickest at all, so you will probably not want to run a high line at all. They can jump, though, and you have some decent size. And then you'll have Ambai. He is the main guy that I showed you earlier, 19-year-old defensive midfielder. You might want to play him as a ball-winning midfielder or a DM if you don't want to use this formation, but his work rate is good. His positioning is okay. Physicals are quite good again, and 6'4" at this level, he can be a very nice physical player for you. Next to him, you could run a center mid on attack with Ivan Cesar, the Bosnian. Not really the best in terms of getting forward, but he is okay with his long shots, set pieces as well. So he can do a job there. I put Sopi on the left as an inverted winger. We don't really have a left and right-footed wingers if you want to use traditional wingers. So he'll cut in the Macedonian 19-year-old. Not really quick, but he's quite tall. So cutting in on his preferred right foot from the left flank. Pumalainen will be on the right-hand side, Swedish and Finnish, I believe. Really not much here other than okay physicals. And then your shadow striker can be Hallberg Watongo. He has decent finishing for this level. Not the best composure and off the ball, which I would like to be a little higher for a shadow striker, but he'll do a job. And then up front, you will have Rask. Sebastian Rask is a 27-year-old striker. We're using him as an advanced forward. 12 acceleration, could get the job done at this level, actually. 12 finishing as well. Penalties are good. Off the ball is great for this level. Composure is lacking a little bit, but this is kind of what you can come up with. So 4-2-3-1 should be a decent enough formation. I suggest starting on a balanced mentality, slightly more direct. You don't really want to be creating too many issues with shorter passing and giving possession away. So you just want to go back to front. Standard tempo, though, just so you don't just send it forward without any kind of intent. Pass into space and play for set pieces, leaving it very basic for this level of football. Counter press, counter. You could change this to regroup if you find that you're getting pulled out of position quite a bit, but you can start like this. Distribute quickly, and you will want to distribute over the opposition defense just so that you can get the ball again forward as quickly as you can. And then out of possession, we're leaving it very default standard line on a mid block. You don't want to play this too high up because, again, you don't really have the speed in defense to do that. And you can trigger the press a little more often. Otherwise, you could even leave the standard and see how they play and leaving everything else blank because, again, at this level of football, you don't want to put too many instructions on players. You just kind of want to let them play football and see how the team molds itself. So we've learned a little bit about the club. I've shown you what they look like on Football Manager 23. If you decide to do the save, let me know if you ever make it to the first division. This is a club that I will be looking to play as in one of my offline saves this year on Football Manager 23. I'm very excited, and I just thought this was a very cool club that I had to share with you guys as a potential save idea. Moving forward, there will be more videos like this. Let me know if there's a specific club that you'd like me to cover. I do have a few in mind, and I will get those videos out to you guys as soon as possible. But again, if you do enjoy this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. All of my information, if you'd like to follow over on Twitch where I stream daily, all of that stuff will be in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care, guys. Bye-bye.